Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I am your host, Neil Johnson. I'm excited to be with you and share the news with you. Look, evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I am your host, Neil Johnson. I'm excited to be with you and share the news with you. Bam, turn that off. Sorry, I had that going in the background. I always keep the stream open on YouTube, but then I always have to pause, and sometimes I forget to. So anyways, please do smash that like as you come in. Do chat it up with where you're from. I'm going to just wipe this camera because it seems a little... There, it's a little better, but not perfect. Anyways, good to see y'all on. It's a late night show. God darn it. That light's really bothering me. Give me just a second, okay? I see somebody said say hi to the beavers for me, Neil. So if you don't know, I've got the beavers. Cow, I cannot get that camera clean. I'm sorry, people. It's driving me nuts, you know? Comes from being a photographer, I guess. But anyways, hey, whoa, look at this, everybody. Welcome Carolyn R on. This is the first Lumberjack Live for Carolyn R. So look at this. So I do this, you know, hey, free of charge for you folks. Free of charge tonight. I'm up late and doing this, but I see Fitzcrafter on. He's in the house. By the way, he helped when I was streaming the trucking convoy. Dan was my guy. He was out there in the trucking convoy as I was streaming. Someone from Utah on the stream. Yes, Carolyn. There we go. So she's from Utah and her first time on the stream. Everybody give a little hand clap in the chat and welcome Carolyn. We always like the new folks. I like the longtime listeners too, like Catfish Chucky, who is on. So anyways, good to see y'all. Oh, wait, somebody else. It's their first live too. Gary, look at this. Gary, welcome to the show. And yeah, good to see y'all on. So I've got a number of new listeners here right now. I mean, news cycle's been kind of big, and I've been covering a lot of stories that I think are, look at this, all these first timers. Welcome on. Good night. Look at this. Everybody's hand clapping, you first timers. Welcome to the show. But we got a lot to discuss tonight. We've got the speakership is what I'm mainly going to focus on, but I have two other video clips I want to bring into this for you. So, we'll get right into it. I think what I'm going to do, I want to give you an update on something here. So just divulge me with this for a second. So many of you are watching Monday Night Football and you saw the player collapse. And I want to just share what the status is. This is his uncle. He was on CNN. He was interviewed. So before I get into the whole speaker race, I want you to see this. So, and we're going to offer up some prayers for him.
He's still sedated right now. They just want him to have a better chance of...
Okay, you're going to have to, by the way, turn up your volume because this guy is, I don't know why this video is so soft. Oh my gosh. Does this say that this guy's from Los Angeles? Are you kidding me? Omar, Los Angeles, new to the channel and digging.
Covering better.
Oh, yeah,
so they feel that if he's sedated, his body can heal a lot faster than if he was woke and possibly cause other complications. So they got him sedated right now. And I mean, it's just heartbreaking seeing him like that, right? I mean, you know, we were in Pittsburgh watching it on TV, and his little brother was there with us. And when he seen his brother drop like that, and when I tell you I never seen him cry or scream like that, like we were trying to calm him down, like, yo, it's okay, you know, he'll gonna get back up, he'll be back in the game, you know, woo. Next thing you know, it's 10 minutes later, they're doing chest compressions. It's a half hour later, they still not playing yet. I'm like, yo, what's going on? What's wrong with my nephew? And then, like, when I say, like, now we were all in the room crying, man, we were all in tears, man. And I'm not a crier, but like I never cried so hard in my life, man. Just to know like my nephew basically died on the field and they brought him back to life. I mean, that's just heartbreaking. And to see all those grown men crying and all the emotion, man, it really was a gut punch, man. And I would have been crying no matter who it was, but for it to be my nephew, it had that much more impact on me, man. And I'm just glad he's just still alive and able to fight and trying to get better and recover.
You told me off camera your nephew died twice. Can you explain?
Well, his heart had went out, so they had to resuscitate him twice. They resuscitated him on the field before they brought him to the hospital, and then they resuscitated him a second time when he got to the hospital. So I just want to show my gratitude for the medical staff that were on hand, because if not for them, my nephew probably wouldn't even be here. And him to...
So there you go. I was Demar Hamlin's uncle. So Father God, we just pray right now for Demar. Pray for anybody who's been affected by the tragedy, and just pray for everybody, Lord, that's dealing with situations like this. God, just wake our nation up in Jesus' name, amen. All right. So Hippy Dippy Cali Girl's on. Look at that. So Jace is on. So now I want to talk the big news, and this is speakership. But first off, I want to address something really big here, people. Please do smash the like, chat it up with where you're from. Oh, and I pinned on the top, I've got my site, my merchandise store. I got it up. See? Woo! There's the shirt. And then check this out. It's even got the sleeve thing for Lumberjack Logic. Anyways, so check that out. And I just activated a coupon code on there for you. I don't always do this, but you can use promo code Lumberjack because that's what I do for everything, whether it's my pillow or whether it's this merchandise store. You just go to you just use promo code Lumberjack. But right now, you can get 20% off any of the merchandise, the non-binary shirt, the hats, all of it. So check that out if you're new and you want some stuff just to support the show and whatnot. There it is, 20% off. Now, here's the deal. I want to address the topic of fear because there's a lot of fear going on out there right now. People are like, you can't not support Kevin McCarthy or the Democrats are going to have it. Hakeem Jeffries is going to be the Speaker of the House. Oh, my gosh. People, it's so bad. If we don't elect this rhino, we can't stop rhinos. We can't stop the swamp unless we elect the swamp. So what's going on right now, people? I'm telling you, it's coming in all droves. And please do not just assume that because somebody thinks this way, because somebody has bought into that thought process, that they're rhinos. That doesn't mean that they're rhinos just because, they don't see things the way we do. I want to talk about this from a standpoint of fear and what's going on right now in people's minds. The fear that they're feeling like, oh, my gosh, this could happen. We could have Hakeem Jeffries. Let me guarantee you something. Look, there will never be in this Congress, anyhow, a Hakeem Jeffries speakership. Okay. I don't care if all the Democrats are united behind him. There's not going to be enough Republicans who defect and leave their caucus. That's not going to happen. Hakeem Jeffries will not be speaker. Okay. Hey, you guys got it? I want to see in the chat. Do you have this? I want to make sure I kill this point. Because it will not happen. Hey, Paul from New Zealand, good to see you on. Okay, you guys got this? I'm telling you, no Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, yes, somebody got it. Family PS gameplay. I'm telling you, Hakeem Jeffries is not going to be speaker, so just stop being afraid of that. And now here, I want to show you, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm going to tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't believe is a rhino. So let's, again, what happens is we're engaged in strategy games. And if you've ever played a strategy game, people actually can win those strategy games differently. Okay. Like I play a lot of them with my kids. And so like we'll play this game called Seven Wonders, or we'll play Settlers of Catan and Cities and Nights. And it depends on what board I've got and how I perceive things and what I decide to do. It's not always the same play every time. And so I think Marjorie Taylor Greene just really thinks, man, we've got to put Kevin in because there's not enough votes for anybody else. But the thing is, I think what Marjorie Taylor Greene's missing is that if Kevin doesn't get the votes, he doesn't get the votes and somebody else will step up. So watch this. This is off Steve Bannon's show, and she was on there.
To me, Steve, it's not about a personality contest. I don't care about who we elect for prom king. What we need to do is we need to get a speaker in place, because here's the facts that the base has not been told by my friends who are opposing Kevin McCarthy. We cannot fire any of Nancy Pelosi's employees in the Capitol. I'm talking about sergeant at arms. I'm talking about clerks at the desk. I'm talking about very important employees in the House, in the Capitol. They cannot be fired until we get a Republican speaker. We can't even swear in as members of Congress. We can't hold investigations. We cannot pass bills. We can do nothing without a speaker.
Okay. She's right. Congress can't do anything without a speaker. Wouldn't that be terrible if they couldn't pass legislation and take our freaking money and spend money we don't have? Oh my gosh, it'd be so awful. God. Smash that like, folks. Okay. Keep commenting. It all helps the stream. I want to get this out there because so many Republicans tonight are running scared. Oh no, it could happen. We could have Hakeem Jeffries or okay. I mean, look, we've got Charlie Kirk going, oh my gosh, I've got incredible sources. And the Dems are talking about a coalition government. People, if we have Kevin McCarthy, it's already a coalition government. Don't you get it? Freaking, we got to stop the swamp by electing in a swamp. Gosh. You know what you need to do is get on the horn right away in the morning or send an email tonight to your representative in Congress, okay? And let them know to get off the Kevin McCarthy bandwagon. Gosh, so flipping ridiculous. And if you want to know, here, I'm going to give you a website so you can get all this. I've got a person I know. Her name's Andy, and she was really part of this whole populist movement. Okay. And right there, Populist Revolt, you go to populistrevolt.com action. Okay. I just shared it in the chat. I'll share it again. You go to that website and you will have everything you need to contact everyone in the government out there in DC. Okay. And they even have a lot of the state government. I'm going to share it again. Okay. So there you have it, populistrevolt.com. And you can just go to populistrevolt.com and you can go to /action. But the bottom line is that's look at that. Coley from Down Under is on. We got New Zealanders and Australians on. It's the right time of day for these folks. Okay, so that's I just want you to know that you need to reach out and contact them and say, hey, look, come on, we got to get behind somebody else, whether that's Jim Jordan, whether it's I'd love to see Chip Roy. In fact, I'm going to share a Chip Roy. I've got all kinds of clips for you, okay? Because we're going to talk specifically about the day. And I want to talk about how the day started. Then we're going to move through the day and then how it ended. But I just want you to know that, again, don't throw everyone under the bus just because they see how to play this game differently. They just, they see it in a different paradigm, all right? I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene has lost it and gone off the rails and doesn't want to represent the people of her district. I don't think that's where she's at. Okay. I don't believe that's where she's at. But I think that, they just aren't seeing it correctly. Yeah, because if they see it like me, they see it correctly, right? That's how we all think. I mean, if they saw it correctly, they'd see it like me. So anyhow, I want to share, this is how the day started. First, I'm going to share a clip by Lauren Boebert, very short.
The deal was rejected, and as it stands, I will not be voting for Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
Okay, they had proposed a deal to Kevin McCarthy. The deal was rejected, and so Lauren Boebert's out. But it was worse than just being rejected because he threatened them. So I'm going to share this clip by Matt Gaetz, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about if you didn't know about this.
We were threatened by my committee chairman to be on the Armed Services Committee, Mr. Rogers, that if we did not vote for Mr. McCarthy, we would be removed from committees. Our position is that if Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House and we don't have an ability to ensure that there is oomph behind the agenda and energy behind our oversight, that the committee assignments don't mean that much anyway. I'm not here to participate in some puppet show where we pass a bunch of messaging bills, send them to the Senate, watch them die, fail to use leverage, and don't hold the Biden administration accountable. I don't want.
Bam. You guys catch that? That is hot stuff, because if you don't have leverage, you got nothing. Okay? That's the truth of the matter. If you don't have the leverage, you don't have anything. And he's not there to play some kabuki theater. And we need more people who aren't there to play kabuki theater.
I want to relive the Benghazi experience where it's just theater pretending to be oversight, right? We can do better than that. And that's our purpose today.
Theater pretending to be oversight, people. Remember that line, because that is fantastic. That's truth. Theater pretending to be oversight. Matt Gaetz nails it, because what they're doing, what they want to do is it's all centered around, the biggest thing is the motion to vacate. So the motion to vacate the speakership. Now McCarthy has caved on that. I don't know how many votes though he is requiring. Is he requiring a majority? Matt Gaetz wants it down to 1 vote. Come on, Matt, that's not going to happen. I honestly think Matt knows that wouldn't happen. I mean, I seriously think that's, like I said this before, but asking for the horse and then getting the puppy. I think if they were down to like 5 votes, but what they want is to be able to see, how long have we been lied to, people? How long have we been told, oh yeah, we're going to go in there and do something. We're going to hold investigations. Oh, yeah, you're going to investigate them and do freaking nothing about it. And then the Democrats go do investigations, and they're subpoenaing a goddamn president and recommending criminal charges to the DOJ. Somebody's got their crap figured out, and it's not these weak-kneed Republicans. I'm so sick of the rhinos, man. I'm so sick of it, and I think all you are too. It's ridiculous. Okay. Anyhow, I'm gonna go. So that was I'm gonna let you hear Matt. So that was earlier in the day, right? So the Marjorie Taylor Greene was from the day before, and she's like, man, we got to get on board with Kevin McCarthy or this thing's all going to fall apart. And then you see that they were threatening by, we're not going to let you have any speakerships or any committee assignments. And Matt Gaetz is like, you got nothing. Okay. It's like, say, for example, to give you an idea of how stupid of a negotiation that is, say you owed somebody money, right? Say you owed the bank money, but you were cash strapped and you were ended up going through a short sale on your house. And you're like, hey, and the bank was coming after you, and say they did a set off on your account and started bouncing checks on you because they're like, well, we're going to take that money because you're behind on this one payment. And you go in there and you're like, look, I'm trying to rob Peter to pay Paul to make these payments and make this all come together. And I know I'm behind, but gosh, now I've got more bounce check charges and all this. I mean, you got to put the money back in the account. And they're like, no. And you're like, okay, look, here's the deal. You can either put the money back in the account and honor these checks and remove the charges, or you'll never see a dime from me again. And they look at you and say, well, we'll ruin your credit because, it'll be reported to the credit bureau. And you look at them and go, I'm going through a short sale. It's like a foreclosure. You can't, my credit's already screwed. Do you see? They don't understand. They don't have anything with Matt Gaetz because he's like, what does the committee assignment mean if this is going to be some sort of political theater where we're going to launch fake investigations where we don't do anything? Do you guys get it? I mean, do you understand the negotiating aspect of this? So that's what's going on. And Matt's not buying it. Okay. I see some comments about Trey Cowdy over here. I'm trying to stay focused. Okay. I'll keep an eye on the chat. Don't worry. I will. I think I've done well to never miss a super chat. And I try to catch some of the other chats in there too, but I can't always catch them all. But as the day went on, of course, Jim Jordan, and this is what's really funny, is Jim Jordan gives his speech, and after that, Jim Jordan gets more votes. So here, we're going to watch this. But this is just part of Jim Jordan's speech. I think this is the heart of it. And he talks about, just the need to get things done. But the problem with, the need to get things done is then we're talking about McCarthy. And I will say, as much as I like Jim Jordan, he's been soft on big tech. Okay. He has. And I don't want to be soft on big tech. Big tech and the censorship they have done has done more to damage this country than a lot of other things. Okay. Here we go.
I think we have 3 objectives this Congress. 3 fundamental things we have to get done in the 118th Congress. First, pass the bills that fix the problems. In 2 years' time, we have a border that is no longer a border. We have a military that can't meet its recruitment goals. We have bad energy policy, bad education policy, record spending, record inflation, record debt, and a government that has been weaponized against we the people, against the very people we represent. So we need to pass legislation to address all that. And I hope my Democrat colleagues will join me. I really do. But I have my doubts. And if they don't, and if Chuck Schumer says, no, we're not going to take up that legislation that we pass, and if Joe Biden won't sign it, so be it. They'll have to answer to the people in 2024. Second, we can never, ever let a bill like the one that passed 12 days ago, $1.7 trillion spent. We can never, ever let that kind of legislation pass again. We have to pass a budget that makes sense, that's good common sense, then do the 12 appropriation bills that recognize it's the people's money, not ours, and send it to the Senate, and then stand firm on that legislation. And again, if they won't take it up and Joe Biden won't sign it, we can stand firm on a CR or something. We can have that fight, but we are not going to have what took place a week and a half ago ever happen again. And then finally, third, and this is important, we got to do the oversight, do the investigations. We have to do the oversight and the investigations that need to be done. This idea that bureaucrats who never put their name on a ballot but think they run the country, who have assaulted our constituents' First Amendment liberties, they need to be held accountable. That has to happen. We need to do it.
And then he nominates McCarthy. Now, again, so Jim Jordan nominates McCarthy, and I'm not going to just throw Jim Jordan under the bus either. Again, I know I don't trust anybody in Washington, and I don't think you should either. Okay, it's a place that tends to wreck people. I think they can go there good. Washington, D.C. is to adults what Disney is to children. Okay. Mark that. Oh my gosh. That's just beautiful. I just gave you that. Guys, that's free tonight. You can use that. You don't even have to give me credit, man. Washington, D.C. is to adults what Walt Disney is to children. It wrecks them. That's beautiful. Oh, this commentary you're getting. People pay big money for stuff like this. Anyways. So anyhow, but just understand that even though you don't trust them, there are some of these people are out there trying to do good work. Okay, and I think one of those is Chip Roy, and he was on Fox News today, and this was right during the floor vote, and he lays this out. He's basically thrown Kevin McCarthy a bone. He's like, Kevin, you can have this. We just need the tools. And I want you to watch this clip. I'll probably pause it a couple times, but this is phenomenal.
Congressman Chip Roy, who is just joining us. Congressman, thank you for joining us. You have been one of the people who's leading this charge against Kevin McCarthy for the speakership. You had voted for Byron Donalds. Where does this process stand? And in your mind, because you have said that you potentially remain open to voting for McCarthy.
Okay, now this is awesome because you see what the Fox News host, because Fox News is totally in the tank for Kevin McCarthy. He's like, you're leading the charge against Kevin McCarthy, right? Watch how Chip answers this.
Where is this process headed?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. And first of all, I wouldn't say I've been leading the charge against McCarthy. I've been leading the charge for my constituents who are tired of the swamp continuing to do what the swamp does. And we saw it on full display with the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Now, my friend Jim Jordan, who just nominated Kevin McCarthy, who I also consider a friend, said that, hey, we need to put the people in place to stop bills like that. But that's the problem. Everybody's out there saying, oh, we got everything we wanted. We got rules changes. Let me tell you something. We have no way to enforce those rules changes. The Speaker-elect has a history of voting with Democrats and voting with the minority against the majority Republicans over the last decade. He's been Speaker or in the leadership of Republicans since 2009. During that time, the debt has gone from 11 trillion to 32 trillion. In other words, we want to be able to have a check against the swamp. We made good faith changes. We worked hard to get them, but we needed a little bit more in order to assure that we have the power to actually stop the swamp from rolling over the American people who are sick of bills that spend money we don't have.
Okay. Now, did you guys catch that? Everything that he said there is the crux of this issue. And he's basically telling Kevin McCarthy, look, here, all we need is this check, okay? Because we don't trust the swamp. And the American people don't trust the swamp. And I'm here to represent my constituents. I'm not against Kevin McCarthy. I am for my constituency. Everything in the tone of this is right, what Chip Roy is doing. Okay. And he is telling Kevin McCarthy, look, we'll be there with you so long as you can give me these concessions and we can hold, because we don't trust that you have voted with the Democrats too many times in the past. We're not willing to accept this without some more checks. Back to Chip Roy.
Sick of open borders, are sick of empowering the bureaucrats to go after them, and we're sick and tired of a Congress that's not doing its job. So this is about changing this town. I wasn't sent here for second place.
Okay, wait. I saw a comment I want to throw up. He says, all talk, good cop, bad cop routine. No, it's not just all talk, okay, because otherwise they would have voted for McCarthy. But it is a good cop, bad cop routine, and that's why I like it, because Chip right now is the good cop, but he's still a tough cop. Matt Gaetz is the bad cop, one vote, right? So the point is that they are utilizing what are real negotiating tactics.
I was sent here to get the job done, and we need the leadership and the tools to do it.
So, Congressman, to be clear, you are one of the 19 who voted against McCarthy as Speaker in the first vote. Our producers tell us you have not voted yet again. Safe to say you are a no again.
Well, it's not a no. We're voting for names. I voted for Byron Donalds, my friend, a conservative, someone who is...
Bam, there again. That people, this is huge, because I told you before, but Fox News is in the tank for McCarthy, and you saw it again. Is it safe to assume you'll be voting no? This isn't a no vote. It's not a yes or no vote. It's not like, do you want Kevin? Yes or no. Do you love me? Do you love Kevin? Yes or no? That's not it. Okay? You vote for a person. It's not a no vote for Kevin. You're voting for someone. And they keep trying to twist the words. And I don't even know if they're intentionally doing it or if they're just so embedded in the swamp, that's how they think.
The swamp. He has been here only for now his second term. I might vote for some similar folks who have a track record and a history of standing up to the swamp. What I'm not going to do is blindly do what the swamp does. My constituents didn't send me here to do that. Is anybody listening to this actually happy with what Congress is doing?
No.
Is anybody out there? Are you?
No.
Or anybody in America? Do you think Congress is doing a good job? The answer is no. So why would we embrace the status quo? Why would we keep doing the same thing over and over again? That's what's happening in that room. And this morning, a group of folks threatened some of us, and they lost votes on that. We're not going to back down until we get in a room and we decide how we're going to be able to stand up and fight for the American people, no matter who the speaker is.
Okay, now, so now that the Fox News host just has to ask about these threats. Okay, we'll get into that. I'm going to put Chip right back up. But this is exactly confirming what Matt Gaetz said. So instead of trying to bring these people along, they're going to threaten them. Look, we won't give you these positions. When the positions will be freaking meaningless, and it's just going to be kabuki theater, and Chip Roy and Matt Gaetz know it.
Congressman, you just used the word threatened there in the House GOP conference meeting this morning. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, it's been public information out there that Mike Rogers threatened to say he's going to kick those of us off of any committees who dared to challenge the coronation of the speaker. And the reality is that was a threat, and it was not received well by a lot of people in the room. And Mike Rogers is emblematic of the problem. He is precisely why we end up with bills like the $1.7 trillion monstrosity that was destroying our freedom, funding bureaucrats, and frankly, actually had specific language in it not allowing us to secure the border. Now, Mike didn't vote for it because at the end of the day, the House was trying to make sure we got votes for Kevin. But the fact is, everybody knows there's no secret in this town that in the Senate, they were laughing because they knew that Kevin was saying, I want this to be speaker, not because we wanted to kill the bill. That's the truth.
See, there you have it, man. I'm telling you, this guy is on fire. I love what Chip Roy has to say. I'll bring up his floor speech from earlier today too, because that was very good as well. But this is all, and so you can see here that all these stories are lining up. So we start the day, we've got the threats, then we're going to the speeches on the floor, and the big bombshell comes at the end of the night. Now let me see here. I'm trying to make sure I get all these in. I'm going to remove Lauren out of here. We got this Chip Roy piece out. We got the Matt Gaetz piece out. I got a funny Janine Jean-Pierre clip as well. Let's see. Did I do this one yet? Let's see.
I think we have three objectives this.
That's Jim Jordan. We're going to just pull that out. It's got to be this.
Someone is recognized.
Well, sometimes we have to do jobs.
Okay, so here we go. Here's Matt Gates's from the floor clip, and this is where he nominates Jim Jordan. Now, at this point, what happened was, we had 19 people that weren't voting for McCarthy, and of those, I think only 6 of them were for Jim Jordan. Andy Biggs had received 9 votes at this point, and Andy Biggs, once this had happened, switched over to Jim Jordan. All of a sudden, all 19 of those people coalesced behind Jim Jordan, who doesn't want the job. So this is Matt's speech, and I think he does a great job with it.
The gentleman is recognized.
Well, sometimes we have to do jobs that we don't really want to do. And sometimes we have to do jobs that we are called to do. And so, my colleagues, I rise to nominate the most talented, hardest working member of the Republican conference, who just gave a speech with more vision than we have ever heard from the alternative. I'm nominating Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan is humble, perhaps today, humble to a fault. Maybe the right person for the job of Speaker of the House isn't someone who wants it so bad. Maybe the right person for the job of Speaker of the House isn't someone who has sold shares of themselves for more than a decade to get it. Maybe Jim Jordan is the right person for Speaker of the House because he is not beholden to the lobbyists and special interests who have corrupted this place and corrupted this nation under the leadership of both Republicans and Democrats. Maybe Jim Jordan would be the right person for Speaker of the House because he wouldn't fight us when we try to get a term limits bill on the floor. Maybe Jim Jordan would be the right person because he wouldn't fight us when we try to put a balanced budget on the floor and vote for it. And maybe Jim Jordan is the right person because he would endorse the plan that was built by the Texas delegation to finally secure our border. Mr. Jordan said in his nomination that there are certain bills that we have to pass to fix the problem. The challenge is the alternative has been someone voting for the very bills that have caused these problems. Mr. Jordan says that we cannot accept legislation like the omnibus, and I fully agree. And if Jim Jordan were Speaker of the House, if he were the leader of the Republican team, we wouldn't have that circumstance choking the economy of our country, increasing inflation, and diminishing the prospects of a better life for our fellow Americans. And finally, Mr. Jordan said we must engage in rigorous oversight. Every one of my Republican colleagues knows that the person who can lead that oversight effort, who works on it every day, who has the skill and the talent and the will, is Jim Jordan. I'm nominating him, and I'm voting for him.
Okay, hold on.
Roy, who is...
that's not, why did that pop in? That wasn't supposed to pop in there. I just added to this. I want to add something to the stream here. Hold on a sec. Present and video file, and that's the head chip. Oh, no, that's not the right Chip Roy one. Oh, it's because it's, okay, hold on a sec here. I want to get you this Chip Roy. Here it is. Chip Roy floor speech.
So this is what the chamber looked.
Okay, this is a fantastic. Okay, this is the best speech of the day, and I'm gonna share that with you. I got to get this other stuff out of here now, so I don't get confused. I'm already confused. Now, the best. Don't worry, stick with me because I've got the big bomb is going to drop here just a little bit. So I'm going to show you what happened today, but then I'm going to show you. And thank you so much for all the kind comments. And somebody asked a question about, don't we the people have a say in this? I think it was, here we go. We'll go back to this. Don't we the people have a say in this? Can't we demand that they dump McCarthy and nominate Roy for Speaker? Jordan has said he doesn't want it, and I think Roy would be excellent. Lori, it's a great question, but the thing of that is this is, we're in a representative republic, okay? This is not a democracy. I'm going to pull Chip for just a second here. Just so we all understand this, we are a representative republic. We are not a democracy. I don't want a democracy. I want a representative republic. I just want it to be unperverse, uncorrupted. I want it to be the vision of our founding fathers. That's what I want. And I hope that's what you want too. Because a democracy is where it's just kind of mob rule. And then we would, the idea is here, we elect these people, they get to know these people better, and they should be able to select a Speaker of the House. And yes, you can apply pressure. Okay. You can email, you can call, you can write letters. You were too late to write letters, man. But I shared that it's populistrevolt.com. I'll share it again. Go to populistrevolt.com. You can find all the contact information for your senators, for your Congress people, all of that. Even at state level, a lot of them are in there. It's a great site. It's put together by this gal, and she really did the work here putting that together. So go over there and utilize that, populistrevolt.com. But you, at this point, your job is to then apply pressure for who you want. Okay, to tell your representatives, look, we don't want McCarthy. Okay, we want Chip Roy, for Pete's sakes. We want, whatever. Chip Roy wasn't in any of the voting today. Not that he couldn't be, but I actually think he's got wonderful tact on how he handles things, which you're going to see again in this floor speech. So I'm just going to get right to it, because as you watch this, you're going to see not only is Chip Roy principled, but I think he could actually be a consensus builder. I mean, this guy's awesome.
This is what the chamber looks like when we're actually debating and the bodies are in the chairs. How many times have we been down here giving speeches and there's not a soul in the chamber? Yet this is what it takes to get 435 people in the chamber and have an actual debate. The American people are watching, and that's a good thing. What we're doing is exercising our rights to vote and have a debate and have a discussion about the future of this country through the decision of choosing a speaker. This is not personal. It's not. This is about the future of the country. This is about the direction of the country. American people who are looking at this body and wondering why we can pass $1.7 trillion bills that are unpaid for. They can just slide in $45 billion for Ukraine but not pay for it. $40 billion for emergency spending and not pay for it. 10% increase in defense spending, 6% increase in non-defense spending and not pay for it. And not do a thing except put language in a bill that prohibits our ability to use the money to secure the border. That bill gets rammed through, and we know exactly how it gets rammed through, because the defense world and the non-defense world come together and say, you know what? We're going to cut a deal, and we'll all go to the mics, and we'll all go give speeches, and the American people are the big losers. That's what happens. We know that's what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I am asking for us to come together and figure out how to solve these problems. And to do that, I'm going to do what I did my very first act as a member of Congress, or as a congressman-elect, and nominate Jim Jordan for Speaker. Now, Jim has said he doesn't want that nomination, and Jim has been down here nominating Kevin, and I respect that. And again, I have no personal animus towards Kevin, and I've worked for the last 2 months to try to figure out how.
Do you see how beautiful he just handled that? He's like, I have no personal animus towards Kevin. To him, this is just like, I'm here to do a job. I'm just trying to do the job. I don't dislike him. In fact, he probably loves, he's probably one of these people. I mean, I just love people. Okay. So, he probably is just, praying for Kevin all the time, just wonderful. I just really think, I just really like this guy. But again, I don't think he's going to get the speakership at this juncture. I think they have, put forth Jim Jordan, and he just put forth Jim Jordan. So we'll see what happens there. Or
to get the rules to make this place better, and we've made progress. But we do not have the tools or the leadership yet to stop the swamp for rolling over the American people. Jim has been doing it. He has a track record of doing it. And for those reasons, I am nominating Jim Jordan from Ohio for Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Do you see that? And again, there he did it. He said, look, we don't have the tools or the leadership to keep the swamp from rolling over the American people. Bam. He lays it out. And what he just said, he just offered the olive branch to McCarthy. Give us the tools, or we need the different leadership. It's beautiful. I'm just telling you, people. I've worked in sales my whole life. I mean, that's the kind of way you get things done. Okay, it is. Matt Gaetz, I love him. He's the bad cop. Okay, but I mean, that Chip Roy, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. By the way, just so you know, Scott Perry tweeted out tonight. He said, I stand firmly committed to changing the status quo, no matter how many ballots it takes. If GOP leader McCarthy had fought nearly as hard to defeat the failed toxic policies of the Biden administration as he has for himself, he would be Speaker of the House right now. Mark that up, man. Scott Perry. That's beautiful. I stand firmly committed to changing. In fact, here, I can probably share this with you real quick, just so you can see the tweet. There we go. There it is. Okay. So I stand firmly committed to changing the status quo, no matter how many ballots this takes. If GOP leader McCarthy had fought nearly as hard to defeat the failed toxic policies of the Biden administration as he has for himself, he would be Speaker of the House right now. And there's the answer, people. I mean, if he would have just done that, he would be Speaker. Okay. Thanks for the comment. I just saw that one. Someone's taken off. They had to get going. But this is what it's all led to. So this was tonight. This is tonight after it's all said and done. Gaetz, Boebert, they're meeting with McCarthy again. Okay? And here's what came of it.
Productive discussion. How was it productive? Insofar as that it was brief.
Okay, again, you're going to have to turn up the volume. This is a screenshot from a Twitter video. I found this clip on Twitter. Okay. But he talks about a brief and productive meeting.
Brief and productive discussion. How was it productive? Insofar as that it was brief. Can you elaborate a bit more? I sure could.
Thank you.
Has he won your support yet, Congressman? No. Why not? I think I've laid that out extensively. I'll tell you what, I'll send you the speech I gave at Turning Point. I was able to extend my remarks there a little further. But I'm just curious, when you say productive, it didn't nudge you a bit toward yes? It was brief and productive.
That's a different tone than you've struck before.
Thanks for noticing.
So is he giving into your demands?
It was a brief and productive discussion.
You might vote for him tomorrow?
You're not ruining. Is it fair to say you're not ruining? I'm a no.
You're a no.
I'm a no. So nothing McCarthy did convince Gaetz to come around. He's still a no. In some ways, and I know, everybody gets their own opinions. We form our own opinions about politicians. But one of the reasons I always liked Ted Cruz was because how much Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and the ilk hated him. Because he exposed them during the Obama administration for not actually even going to the table and negotiating for better deals. Ted Cruz said, we weren't going to get everything we wanted. Obama was the president, but we could have at least not just caved before we had even gone to the table. And that's what they had done. So actually, Gary, I think 19 won't vote for him unless he makes the concessions. Again, that's they both did get threatened with committee removal. We covered that earlier, Charles, in the stream, but that's what's going on there. Now, for some fun here, I'm going to share with you a, you're going to love this. This is that lousy press secretary of Biden's, KJP. Okay. So you know where this stands. Well, before I do that, I'm going to give you my prediction. I actually think, and he's going to have to eat so much crow to do it. It's hard to say, but I really think people, and I know you're not going to want to hear this. We very well could still end up with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, but a Kevin McCarthy that has actually agreed to real concessions that Chip Roy would ask for to hold his feet to the fire. Okay. And here's the thing, even if Kevin McCarthy doesn't convince Matt Gaetz, like the one vote thing, one, I mean, seriously, Matt, that's not going to happen. But if it got down to, let's say, just a quorum of 5 or 10 for the motion to vacate, I think at that point Chip Roy would talk to his colleagues and McCarthy would be the Speaker. But that's what it's going to take. Now, otherwise, people are going to have to get behind somebody else. Okay, because this isn't flying. I mean, it's not. That's what it is. So I'm going to let you see this Korean Champierre thing.
Make note here because this is important. We've made significant progress in lowering the prices, gas prices specifically. Prices are down nearly $2 per gallon and are lower today than they were 1 year ago today, this very day. So we've seen a slight increase, yes, over the past week due to cold weather that shut down some refineries, but those refineries are coming back online, as some of you have reported, and President will continue to do everything he can to keep lowering costs for American families. That is a priority that you hear from him anytime he talks about the economy and how he wants to continue to lower costs for Americans.
Once these refineries come back online, do you expect the gas prices to come back down? And the price of gas when the president came into office was $2.39 a gallon.
I know, but I'm talking about 1 year ago, and that was 1 year ago was not when he came into office, right? So.
I'm trying to take credit for lowering gas prices when they're still higher. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, these people are such a joke. I can't hardly. Yeah, it's. Oh man, it's getting late, folks. Hey, please do support the sponsors. They do support the show. Whether it's Revere Coffee Company, RevereCoffeeCompany.com. All of them, you can use promo code Lumberjack. You save money. You support the show. The merchandise store is up, and I know that they've been sharing those links throughout. But I am doing just right now on the merchandise store, and I've got really cool shirts. I'm wearing one right now. I'll take this jab and shove it. But if you go to the merchandise store, I am doing. I just set it up before the stream where you can get 20% off if you use promo code Lumberjack. So that's not a usual thing going on the site, but you can use promo code Lumberjack there. And so I know a lot of people are saying that they hear Jim Jordan is more likely to be the House Speaker. Again, I mean, he's got to get, everybody's got to coalesce behind him. So, maybe though. Yeah, please go check out the merchandise store. Go visit mypillow.com, mystore.com. Use promo code Lumberjack over there. I'm telling you, people, seriously, just tonight, get some Giza sheets. He still has those marked down, the lowest they've ever been. I never knew sheets were such a thing. You will absolutely love them. I'm serious. They are the best sheets, bar none, I've ever owned. And the towels are phenomenal too. And I've had the pillow long before I even, Mike Lindell was a thing. I think it was back in 2011, 2012. I got one of the My Pillows because I ran into one of these people. I wrote a book called Resorts of Minnesota, big coffee table book. And anyhow, I ran into this guy at a show, and he was selling My Pillows. He wanted my book. I wanted his pillow, whatever. And I've used that pillow ever since. It's the greatest pillow I've ever had. And you do have to run them in the dryer when you get them. It's something about bonding the fill or what. Just get yourself a My Pillow. Get yourself some of those Giza sheets. Follow the instructions and enjoy the best night's sleep ever. And guess who's funding Carrie Lake's legal fees? Mike Lindell. That's who funded the lawsuit down there. Kurt Olson, that's Mike is personal friends with him. That's why that lawsuit down in Arizona is actually moving forward. Okay, and you can say, well, they lost the first one. Yeah, they did. The judge tossed it after clear and convincing evidence. But the case was presented well, which we haven't had before. And they have appealed it to the Supreme Court and then actually done a motion to expedite too. So anyways, that's that. All right. I made my appeal for my sponsors because I love them. Because actually, when YouTube was really heavy on demonetizing me and striking all my content and all of that, the sponsors kept me going. And so I will always be appreciative for them. So thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're new, please do subscribe. We got a great bunch of people, and my mods are good. So somebody who just acts like an idiot, they'll get wiped out of the chat. So anyways, I love you all. All right. Peace out.